In this assignment, assignment 34, we're going to be talking about factoring when a is greater than 1. Okay, now we're going to talk about this in a second. We're going to get there. But what we're going to do first is talk about multiplying. Multiplying, remember, is the opposite of factoring. And so we're going to first talk about multiplying. Okay, so what we've covered so far is when we have multiplication problems like this, right? And notice that when we do x times x, I get x squared, right? And then I get this whole deal. This is x times 7 is 7x, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 7 is 21, right? And then I combine these, x squared plus 10x plus 21. Now, so this we've already learned to factor. We already learned to factor this, right? And what did we do? We knew that these the two numbers were going to add to 10 and multiply to 20, and we thought, oh, those numbers are 3 and 7, and right? And factoring is the reverse. So we have already learned to go from this to this. We've learned that, okay? Now, here's what's coming next. Now notice what's different here, okay? And the big difference is that see how here I had x, and it became x squared, okay? So here, that's no longer the case. I have 3x times x, right? 3x times x, that becomes 3x squared, okay? So this right here is not just a 1x squared anymore, and that's the big difference. And that's where, right, this number right here is called a, and so now a is gonna be greater than 1. It's gonna be more than 1, it's not gonna be 1 anymore. Right here it was 1. Okay, let's keep multiplying. And then this is, right, 3x times 1 is 3x, 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, and then I combine like terms. So now I end up with something like this. Okay, now this we haven't learned to factor yet, and this, unfortunately, is trickier. Okay, but what I want to point out right now is that, see this 3x times x, that became this. Okay, and you can use, if you don't have highlighter, you can like underline, underline, underline. Right, and then I'm going to highlight in a different color. You can double underline, double underline, double underline, and see 5 times 1 became this. Okay, so I want you to observe that when we multiply like this, 3x times x became 3x squared, and 5 times 1 became 5, and this middle term is the tricky part, and we're going to get there. Okay, but not yet. So in the first few practice problems, you are just going to multiply, and I just want you to practice multiplying for a couple more times. Right, I'm going to do one more example here. And I just want you to kind of observe the patterns and absorb what's going on with the multiplication, because then in the next video, we're going to factor, which remember is the opposite of multiplying, right? So right now, these first few questions, you're going to go from here to here, and then we're going to work on going from here up to here. Okay, but again, when I multiply, right, I do this first, right? 5x times x, that's 5x squared, right? And then I'm taking this 5x and I'm multiplying it here, that's step 2. 5x times 7, that's 35x. Then I do this, 2 times x, that's my third step, that's 2x. And then I do this, 2 times 7, that's 14. Okay? And then I'm combining my like terms. And if you always go in that order, they're always going to land in the middle. And you end up with something like this. Okay? So you're going to practice this 3 more times. Okay, and then we're going to talk about going in reverse. So you're going to do question 2, question 3, question 4 right on this page, and we'll turn the page for the next video.